So back to topic. I don't know why I do that. All right. Hey guys, Krystal here, and today we're gonna go ahead and do another What's in the Box Wednesdays. So if you're new to my channel, we just made a series here called What's in the Box Wednesdays. Right now it's in a jewelry box until I find a different one. And there's little pieces of paper in here with different story time topics. And on Wednesdays, I like to pick it out, film it, and post it. So let's go ahead and see what crazy story I'm going to be telling today. Now, these stories are different events that has happened to me. Some may be work related, some may be school related. It's just different times in my life. So I thought, why not embarrass myself on the internet, right? Okay, well, I didn't even mix it up. I really hope this is like a good angle. Okay, here we are. Got one. Oh crap. I was almost abducted when I was 4 or 5 years old. Can you see it? Come on, little buddy. There you go. Again, excuse the chicken scratch. So like in all of my story times, I do want to be as general as possible. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble here, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the time I was almost abducted when I was 4 or 5 years old. I just want to say really quick, you can get abducted anywhere at any time. I don't want this story to kind of stir people away from going to a different country, but just know that you should always be safe, especially when you do have children, and if you are a woman, just be safe no matter what. Even living here, best bet that I am always packing, because I have 2 kids under the age of 2 and I'm a pretty small girl, so I ain't trying to get my kids kidnapped, you know. So let's go ahead and get started. This was obviously a long time ago. It's one of my like early childhood memories. So when I was younger, my relative and I used to color, and they colored so beautifully. I was always so jealous, and I always wanted to color just like them. So I would literally spend the whole entire school year coloring and practicing and stuff like that so that I would color just like them. So I would obviously be out of coloring books, so we would cross the border and go back to that store because they were seriously 13 cents each, literally. So we would go and we would get it, and they would have Lisa Frank, and I was in love with Lisa Frank. I was in love with Lisa Frank. So we would go and I would get coloring books, stickers, pens, pencils, and I remember I would come back to the US and nobody had what I had, and I was like so cool because I had people didn't have, you know. Anyways, I would always have like really cute stationery and stuff like that, and that was because I would always get it across the border. And yeah, we would buy candy, we would buy everything there. So I was basically would get a little spoiled. But let's just say that this isn't the last time that I went across the border for a while. A long time, like years. Okay? So at this point in time, it was summertime, and I wasn't at home. I was visiting a family member, and this family member would go to Mexico right across the border, and we would go to Piedras Negras, and you know, we would get coloring books and stuff like that because everything is super cheap there. And I think that, I don't know, like I didn't really see the difference at that time, you know. I just remember going to like the tiendas all the time, and it was basically like a dollar store for like America, but it was for Mexico. So they would have like coloring books and different stuff like that. So that's what we were doing. We were going across the border to go get coloring books. And the last time we went across the border, my relative bought me a little Mexican pouch. I actually have it. Let me get it. So I just tore up my closet looking for something that wasn't even in the closet. So back to topic. Me and this relative, we had went to Mexico the last summer, and when we went to Mexico, we bought this. They hand make these there, and it's a little wallet, little coin pouch, but it has a strap. And I remember being young, I loved it so much, and I honestly always loved Mexico, okay? And I used to have my coins in here, so whenever we would go, like, I would pay for my stuff, you know, by hand and everything. And yes, I've had this for that long, and I don't know, I'm just that type of person that I keep stuff. It's just how I am. So the following year, I loved this so much that the following year we were gonna cross the border, and in all honesty, I probably asked to go because I wanted another. I probably put myself in this situation, but being 4 or 5 years old, you don't think about it, you're young, it's fine. We go across the border, and as my relative is buying this one, this is what it looks like. And I actually still use this. I have my, can't even see that, I have like guitar picks in here and like the finger picks as well. So I still use this, but the first one, I cherish it so much that I don't use it. So it's like a little bucket one, and again, it has like the strap. So, and she was buying it at the same little stand, and these were like, you think of them at like little huts, kind of like a lemonade stand, but like a little teepee over it, or like canopy over it or something. I hope you know what I mean. So we were obviously in a little bit in Mexico. We were walking by foot, so we weren't like right there by the border. We had to walk in a little bit, and that's where it was. And literally, like, maybe not even like, we'll say like 300 feet away was the store. And as my relative is buying the bag, I almost gave it away. As my relative is buying the bag, this man comes up to me and starts talking to me. And he's talking to me, and it's kind of weird because he's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like, he wasn't even talking to me in Spanish. He was talking to me in English. And I remember him asking me my name, how old I was, and what I liked to do, or what I was doing, or something like that. But as we were talking, somehow the topic of like coloring, or we're here to buy coloring books, that came to topic somehow. That information came out. I don't know how. So as this guy is trying to make small talk with me, he is kind of leading me away and getting a little like touchy with me, like grabbing, like touching my shoulders and being like no, it's okay, like we can go, like, you know, like kind of saying it's okay, and like grabbing my hand to try to lead me. And I was like, no, I don't think I should. My relative would get mad. And at this point, my relative heard me reference them by saying relative, but it wasn't relative, it was the link, you know. Okay, so my relative turns around, literally grabs me away from this man, puts me behind him, and starts yelling at him. And now they're speaking Spanish. And again, I'm a kid, I don't realize that he was talking to me in English this whole entire time, and now they're talking Spanish. And I didn't realize this because I grew up in a bilingual home, so I guess I kind of assumed everybody was bilingual. So I didn't really think anything of it, but now that I'm older, that should have been a red flag. You know, like, we are in a different country and he's speaking English to me, and the majority of the people there, at least at this time, did not speak English. So there was that little red flag that I should have thought about, or now that I'm older I can see, but I didn't see when I was younger. So after them, you know, yelling at each other, calling him names and threatening to call the authorities and stuff like that, he finally, you know, like walks off, but he walks off pissed off and calling my relative names. So after that, I do get in trouble because I'm obviously in this relative's care at this moment. If something did happen to me, you know, that relative, it would have been that relative's head. So I do get in trouble, and I do get told, don't do this, don't do that, don't talk to strangers, this and that, you know, like he would have taken you and everything. I was basically set straight at this point. This is when I woke up. This is when I was like, this is when I was just like, the world is a bad place. Anyways, so after this heated conversation, I obviously get in trouble because I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. I'm not supposed to walk with strangers. I'm supposed to be like stranger danger, you know, like I need an adult to like help. Well, no, because an adult can be a stranger, but still, you know what I mean? So I remember getting in trouble, and I started to cry because I was young and I didn't understand what was going on. I was overly sensitive and overly traumatic. So we still end up going to the store, and I still end up getting my coloring books. He never said anything to my mom until this story came up now. So hopefully you're not watching this story, Mom, and if you are, at least I'm okay. I love you. I do just want to mention this because I'm pretty sure people are going to be wondering. Yes, I have gone back to Mexico plenty of times after this incident. Like I said, this happened when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, so it was a long time ago. I've been to Mexico many times, and the two places that I usually go is Piedras Negras, but I have been to Acuña as well. And they honestly have turned out fine. They really have. Like, I've been into stores by myself. It's been fine. It honestly is fine. You just really have to be aware of your surroundings and just know, like, why would you go to a country without any knowledge of the country? So if you are a tourist and you don't know anything about Spanish, or you don't know anything and you're trying to go to Mexico, I would recommend going with somebody who does know the language at least, and maybe has been there before, or go in like a tour guide group or something. I don't know, just play it safe, okay? So just remember, play it safe. It doesn't matter if you're going to Mexico, to Russia, to China, to Japan. It doesn't matter if you're from Australia and you're coming here. It doesn't matter. Just always be safe. Please be safe. Learn from my mistakes and be aware of your surroundings. I still do visit that relative from time to time. Everything is still good. Honestly, there are no hard feelings. I don't think there ever was any hard feelings. It was just something that we were very, very grateful that didn't turn into a bad situation. So I'm really wanting to leave this video off on a positive note. So please, positive vibes. Just thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe. And please learn from my mistakes. They even have like little like cuffs that you like, they're not even cuffs, they're like little things you wrap around yourself, and then you can put the other to a pant loop or something, just so that you can like fill them if you have to have your hands full, because I always have to wear one baby and then push the other one on a stroller. So I personally do understand that it can be a little bit hard, but now that the one that I would carry is getting too big, like it's hard. I understand, but seriously, just keep an eye on them. If you think that you're not going to be able to keep an eye on them, don't go out. Don't do what it is that you want to do, because it's not worth it. It literally is not worth it. Let's say I want to go to Target, okay? And I go to Target, but I am obviously going to be overwhelmed because I need to carry 2 kids now, or walk with 2 kids now. So what am I going to do when I have to pay? Or what am I going to do when I'm putting one kid in the car and I have to let go of the other one really quick and he runs into traffic or something? If something bad happens, I'm definitely going to have to blame myself. It's my freaking fault. I should have stayed home. So just use common sense, people. There's a lot of crazy people out nowadays. There's so many like Facebook posts up now that it's ridiculous. You have to be very careful. And all I have to say is thank the Lord that he was watching out for me, because if I were to literally been abducted, who knows how long I would have been in trafficking. Like who would have known? Like I probably wouldn't have even ended up in trafficking. Like what if he wanted a family, he just really wanted me to be his daughter? What if he was a pervert and wanted to, you know, sell me or keep me for his own gain? Like, no, you never know. So thank you, like literally, like thank you. It could have, my life could have been so much worse. If something did happen, you literally never know. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna just end the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions, comments, recommendations down in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just do it already. Click the little bell. You'll get notified.